This is one of the goals of the League, and also it's one of the goals of United Nations Higher Commission for Refugees. We'd like to welcome you all. The podium to Ms. Sumaya Radwan, Director of Partnerships and Media Relations in Muslim World League, and also would like to invite you all after this event to see all the technologies and digital work of the career of the prophets as if you are watching them right now. صباح الخير يا السيدات والسادة. بالنسبة للذين يرغبون في الاستماع إلى الترجمة الإنجليزية يمكنكم استخدام السماعات.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching us, peace be upon you. Welcome to this exclusive event for launching the Islamic Philanthropy 2021 mid-year report, which is issued by the United Nations Higher Commission for Refugees in partnership and cooperation with Muslim World League Pavilion in Expo 2020 Dubai. So we have humans and people who are has nothing to do, and they were forced to leave their places. We have displaced and refugees who, it's not just figures. These are figures that are increasing day by day. They are families that were displaced and escaped the war, and also such as Rohingya and Bangladesh refugees. As you can see in the side screens, you can see many faces, but the pain is common with the increasing number of the forcibly displaced persons and increasing their needs. There must be partnerships to provide the needs of the people who are most in need, and this would promote the work of Islamic philanthropy, which has been there for many years. This would include zakat and sadaqat, and this is extremely important in the life of the displaced families and refugees who are most in need. Accordingly, the UNHCR has established the Refugees Zakat Fund in 2019 through launching the annual reports and mid-year reports about the funds and the money that are received by the UNHCR and the Muslim World League according to a fatwa. We are here to launch the Islamic Philanthropy 2021 mid-year report, which tell us the impact of zakat and sadaqat money which we have received during the first half of the current year, and this would show the importance of the work in cooperation with the Muslim World League and supporting the displaced persons in Nigeria. This is the first time that the UNHCR issuing its report in a digital form, and this would be shown. So we are going to have some presentations regarding the Muslim World League and UNHCR, and then we will have a discussion with Mr. Mishal Shalan, General Director of International Cooperation Events in Muslim World League, and Mr. Khalid Khalifa, UNHcR Regional Representative to GCC countries and Senior Advisor for Islamic Philanthropy. We will have a dialogue under the title of Zakat and Salawat and the new developments during the crisis times.
شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you so much. At the outset, welcome to all of you, especially our friends and our partners and also in the Muslim World League. At the beginning, thanks to my colleague, Mr. Mufid, for helping me in preparing this report. This is the first time that we present this report in an interactive mood. As Ms. Sumaya said, that this is not the first time that the Commission with its partners present this report, but we are working on improving the presentation of the report and to show the impact which would help the displaced and the refugees across the world under the umbrella of the program, which is the Islamic Philanthropy work that we are so proud to have it with our partners across the world. You can see this report whether in English or in Arabic. It's available on our platform, and we'll be sharing this link. But you can see the full speech of Sheikh Dr. Mohammed bin Abdul Karim Al Isa. So we have listened to his speech, and this would show the interest of the Muslim World League in humanitarian aid, regardless of race or religion or background. But we are so ambitious to help humanity. Also, my friend also Khalid Khalifa, also there is an executive summary if you would like to see it, if you would like to see the main findings of this report. Basically, we are talking about once we prepared this report, we'd like to show the impact. One of the basic key things that we'd like to focus on is that how can sadaqat and zakat and the other kinds of support would reach out to the beneficiaries who are most in need, whether they are families or individuals. And we divided it according to families and individuals. For individuals, we are talking about 500,000 persons in the first half of 2021 through zakat and salawat, and also we have about 600,000 in total, including zakat and salawat. And you can see the impact in Yemen, Lebanon, Nigeria, Syria, Jordan, Malaysia, if you are talking about sadaqat. And also for zakat, we have those donors and those who are talking also about Bangladesh, Pakistan, Egypt, India, Iraq, and all these countries. The work that we are doing in such countries, we are working in the field, in the ground, so that we can make sure that such programs can reach all the beneficiaries, and also to support all those refugees and the displaced. So transparency is extremely important in Islamic philanthropy, and we take it seriously regarding the UNCR. Okay, let's tell us where the support go to. Okay, Yemen has the biggest share because it's 62% of zakat funds are dedicated to Yemen in the first half of the current year. Also, Lebanon. Also, there are other countries that we start just short time ago, this year or the last year, for example, in India or Nigeria. So we don't have such a high percentage in such countries that were recently received our aid. And also, we are going to extend also, we have sadaqat. You can see the report, and you can see where the funds of sadaqat dedicated to. Also, through the report, we can see this map, and you can see check every country, and you can see what the impact of our aid and the amount of money that we have dedicated to those countries. The aim is to have as much benefits as we can. Today, we have 13 countries, beneficiary countries, and we are continuing this one on monthly basis, and we have stories from families and displaced people, and you can listen to the stories of those families and individuals, and they can tell you about their experience and how it changes their lives in a positive way. May God help them and return them back to their countries. Abdullah is an internally displaced in Yemen, Huda in Syria, she is a refugee in Lebanon, and Jamil is from Afghanistan and is a refugee in Pakistan. And also, one of the things that we added this year, that Islamic philanthropy, how can it help with our partners to achieve the sustainable goals, these sustainable development goals. These are the goals that we make a connection between such goals. Among them is to have partnership to achieve the SDG. And one of the most important examples is to eradicate poverty, zero hunger, good health, well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and etc. Three things today would like to tell you before I wrap up. One of the things that we launched in 2021 is to have refugee zakat fund, which and we are looking to have more developments in this fund. And we have here an application, this application on mobile, which is Refugee Zakat Fund. And also in the holy month of Ramadan, we're able to help. We have here Ramadan campaign, and we are helping thousands of families. This year, we are going to cooperate together to do more things. Last and not least, we would like to thank our partners, and I can see our colleagues and friends, and thanks to all of you. Before we continue our program and the agenda, I would like to display a video, and also we'll have an executive summary. And thank you so much.
شكرا أستاذ مشعل، الله يخليك.
Thanks to Mr. Hussain for this interesting presentation. Now we are going would like to invite Mr. Mishad Shalan and Mr. Khalid Khalifa to the platform to talk about sadaqat and zakat and also the developments in the crisis and its impact. Mr. Khalid, Mr. Mashhad, we'd like to welcome you. Mr. Khalid, we have about 84 million people that were forced to leave their homes. How can the immigration and the displacement is evolving across the world? And what is the role of Muslim World League and the Commission to react and to respond to such a crisis? In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the compassionate, good morning. As you have said, the number of displaced and refugees across the world to 84 million people. But the figure is not enough to know about the situation. You need to compare this number to the number in the last year. In the last year, we were talking about 82 million people. The United Nations last year asked for $35 billion to help all the people across all the organizations and all countries. The report of the UN issued 2 weeks ago, it asked for $41 billion in 2021 to help 84 million people. So the number who are in need for support is increasing by dozens of millions. This is the situation. The demography of distribution. Where are those who are most in need? Are they in Western regions, in America, or other regions? Regretfully, 60% of the total refugees in the world who has to leave their homes are from the members of the Islamic organization. Islamic Cooperation Organization, and in the first priority are the Islamic countries, including Pakistan, Syria, Yemen. Those 3 countries required and need 13 billions dollars only for those 3 countries. This distribution is not proper. The Islamic world is a leader of giving in the world, and it has started its giving work through zakat and awqaf, and I don't know in other religion in the world has such a number of aid and social solidarity as the same case with Islam. And this is the main reason that UNHCR has joined us and to have the opportunity to give those in need through a very reliable programs with our partners and in a quick manner. Thank you, Mr. Khalid, and the role of Islamic philanthropy. Okay, Mr. Meshal, as you are an international organization which represent the Islamic world, what is your vision? And what are the most pressing issues that need to be addressed? I'm so proud to be here and also to give support. Regarding the Muslim World League has many roles to play. Is it the first thing is to show the reality of Islam and also to promote tolerance and also to keep Islam as moderate as possible. And this is one of the main pillars. First of all, we need to have agreements with the UNHCR and also to organize conferences and meetings which are addressing pressing issues, including helping the refugees and also to provide humanitarian aid to all refugees across the world. Islamic philanthropy, we need to work. First of all, is to give support through official governments and to reach out the beneficiaries and also to cooperate with international organizations. And number 3 is not to show and not to make it public that you are helping the people, so you can protect the identity of those people, and because maybe they are sensitive, and also to follow up all the crises and disasters that are happening around us, and also to follow the relief and the rescue teams. One of the challenges that we are facing in our philanthropy, that we have many Islamic organizations working on this, is that we have lack of coordination, especially with the UN Higher Commission for Refugees, and also we have fatwa from the Islamic fatwa complex, and we have a fatwa that was issued in the beginning of this year. This fatwa has an importance to increase the number of funds and also to increase the number of beneficiaries. So after such a fatwa and this cooperation between Muslim World League, and also to give support to all those who are most in need. Thank you, Mr. Mash'al, for your vision. Mr. Khalifa, today you are having the report along with the Muslim World League, one of the strategic partners. How can you increase such a kind of partnerships with the organizations of United Nations and the Islamic organization? And what is missing so we can achieve the highest number of partnerships? At the beginning, before I answer, I would like to thank the partners of UNHCR, such as Muslim World League, and also the Research Center in Al-Azhar, and also Islamic Fiqh affiliated to Islamic Cooperation Organization. And there have been fatwa, and we ask them for fatwa so we can raise up the funds for zakat and sadaqat. And then I would like to thank the donors who contributed and who provide their funds, and also including Sheikh Thani bin Abdullah, who is one of the biggest donors to the commission, and also it has been only three years, but he donated $140 million, and this is a very high amount of money, and this would reflect the hard work. But what is missing here? I think in the past there has been many obstacles between regarding working between Muslim and Islamic organization and the United Nations. So we ask the United Nations to have an initiative to take the first steps. We have introduced things that were not available in United Nations, such as fatwa, such as opening accounts without interests. And also the most important is to convince the United Nations to waive all the administrative fees. And this was a kind of criticism to the United Nations organization, because organizations in the United Nations always saying that administrative fees are so high. So we ask them to waive such administrative fees. In some places, we can spend about 15 or 20% to distribute the funds of zakat. I think this was missing, and wish that this would contribute to increasing the confidence of the donors in our system, especially that with the refugee zakat fund. Also, we have other things that are missing, including the increasing number of partnership. Once we have more partnerships, we will have more beneficiaries. Or, for example, if we have here 15, if we have 15 partnerships, this would encourage other partnerships to be established. So we are going to experience this. So the donor can see whether we can have such a confidence according to Sharia rules. Yes, we would like to see an increasing number of partnerships. Thank you, Mr. Khalid. Mr. Meshal. One of the main goals of Muslim World League is to provide humanitarian aid across the world. What is the importance of such a partnership to achieve goals, and what are the recommendations and the advice to other Islamic organizations to increase such partnerships? It's an important question. Building partnerships. I would like to refer to the number of refugees in 2018. I think it was 71 million. Now we are talking about 84 million refugees. This is an increase by 15%. I think we have a duty to develop the partnership sector. First of all is to stop such increasing number of refugees through the promotion of tolerance and moderate Islam. And also we have signed many memorandum of understanding, and also we have the Muslim World League. We have many partnerships with the children organization and also UNESCO. All these partnerships are at the service of the refugees and those who are in need. Having partnerships is an important message to humanity. Such support has no discrimination regardless of the religion. It's a noble message and moral message. And also to have diversification of such partnership. This kind of partnership would provide logistics and also quick sharing of information, and also this is important to guarantee that the beneficiaries across the world will get the support, and also this would help achieve the SDG. So the partnership is extremely important, and I think that in the it would have a bigger impact in the future. So this will be useful to the beneficiaries. Thank you, Mr. Mashal. Now let's watch the speech of the UNHCR representative in Nigeria.
Considering that about 1.1 million of the 2 million people displaced in the northeast are children, child protection is overwhelmingly in need, really huge need. Therefore, the support of the Muslim League so many reasons. Many children are suffering from psychological trauma. Their rights, as we discussed earlier, have been abused. Community-based structures are non-existent in some cases, and many, many children, especially girl children, are left out of school and are forced into early or teen marriages. So the support of the Muslim World League is both timely and both essential. This year, ahead of the holy month of Ramadan, the Refugee Zakat Fund was launched across Africa, in South Africa, in Kenya, and here in I think that Islamic philanthropy really does have a lot of potential and would make an immense and a great contribution to supporting people forced to flee.
نعود لك سيد
Mr. Khalid, the Commission started to explore the Islamic philanthropy work, and the result was that Refugees Zakat Fund was launched in 2019 as the UNHCR has started this launch. What is next? What is next? This is a very good question. We are exploring to have development and to renew the tools that we have currently now. We are talking about one tool. We have 20 tools, but we have only two tools, zakat and salawat, and we need to explore sooner. We'll have the biggest ever waqf across the world, or endowment, and I wish that the endowment that are targeting the refugees will be used as a tool. We are not having full use of such tool. Awqaf in the Islamic nation in the Abbasid era was used to have a big role in helping the people, and we need to come back to this old tradition of endowment or awqaf, and we can use awqaf as a flexible tool to be dedicated to any humanitarian activity across the world. And we need also partnership such as Muslim World League, and I'm so honored to have here Mr. Mash'al, and I would like also to thank the Secretary General, Dr. Mohammed bin Abdul Karim, for their material and moral support. Some people give support morally and others materially, and some other give both. And even we can have such a promotion of the philanthropy work only. And also, if you can, they can give direct support. So once you are able, we can explore more Islamic tools, and also to have investment in technology. As Mr. Hussam said, we have launched an application on mobiles. You can download this application. I think more than 20,000 people have downloaded this application, and we would like millions of people to download this application so we can increase the benefit and to give support to the beneficiaries. Thank you, Mr. Khalid, and we are looking for more, as if you are watching those prophets regarding cooperation with other religion organizations is doing good things all the time. There's no objection to cooperate with other religion organization. I can give you an example. We have a visit to Burundi, and in Burundi there was a shelter house for the elder people, and he visited them and he gives them and money, and they were not Muslims. This was a surprise. And also we can launch such initiatives, and we can help people of other religions. Most of the agreements between Muslim World League and other organizations are with organizations that are not Muslims. Such kind of cooperation would enhance and would help the support of the people who are most in need. Regarding the donations received by Zakat Fund, 87% of such funds are coming from Islamic organization, and only 13% of this number is coming from individuals. Such support will be dedicated to Muslims and non-Muslims as well. So in the future, we are looking forward to have more donations regarding cooperation with other religion organizations. I would like to refer to Family Ibrahim Agreement in Paris, and also the Peace Accord in Sri Lanka. All these agreements were under the sponsorship of Muslim World League along with other religions. We'd like to thank Muslim World League for inter-religion dialogue. I would like to thank Mr. Mishal and Mr. Khalid for this interesting dialogue. Thank you so much.
وصلنا أعزائي الحضور.
Now we have came to the end of this dialogue on zakat and sadaqat and its impact on crisis. And this was contributed by our panelists with such information, and we are here at the end. I would like to say that this session has more than the information and expertise. This session has a message, the message of good and peace and the service of humanity. More than 580,000 refugees and displaced get benefit and were supported by the donations that we have given in 12 countries, thanks to the strategic partnerships and the Islamic organizations in the MENA region and all the world. Such partnership is the same as we have between Muslim World League and also UNHCR under the leadership of His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Karim Isa, and also under the sponsorship of Fatwa Center under the Muslim World League. This is a model and an example of how much we can give through such initiatives and this reliable partnership. As the panelists said, that religion is a message of peace and support regardless of race or interest, and cooperation is here to give service to the humanity, which would help humanity, and also to support vulnerable and affected people. Now, let's watch a closing video regarding the partnership between Muslim World League and UNCR. And the presidency can ask questions online, and you can ask questions after this presentation.
سيد خالد.
Mr. Khalid, please come here to answer the questions. Mr. Mishal. Mr. Khalid Khalif and Mr. Mishal Shalan are ready to answer your questions. It's time to ask questions.
Khalid Salim al-Naimi.
Khalid Salim al-Naimi from UAE. We'd like to thank you for such partnership, and also would like to thank Mr. Mashal. I'm so happy to have such a kind of partnership between Muslim World League and the United Nations Higher Commission for Refugees. And this is an evidence that the culture of giving, which is very authentic to our culture and the Islamic world, would like to encourage you. In the Western region, in the West, when we have the culture of giving among companies, regretfully, we don't have such a culture of giving. So we are the leader of humanitarian aid. As you have said, this was in our old tradition. We have awqaf or endowments for orphans, but now we have lack, we have a problem, we don't have culture of giving. So we can encourage companies, we can encourage establishments, public companies, private companies, so we can promote this role, including zakat, sadaqat, even the companies. What is the role of private sector? Do you have any initiatives? This is my question. Do you have any initiatives to encourage the private sector in the Middle East so we can push the private sector so they can participate in the humanitarian aid? Thanks, Dr. Khalid. This is an important question because the donors and the governments are having the biggest share in donating the money. And the governments are not able to fulfill and meet the needs. The donations that are coming from the government sector is not does not exceed 50%. So it means that 50% of the people who are in need do not receive such support, or we are offering just 50% of the needs for those people. So we need to have private sector. The role of private sector is important because they represent the broad base of the international community, and I think that the future is depending on the initiatives that we can launch to give the opportunity to most of the donors. We are talking about just small donations, and as long as we are talking about philanthropy. So we are talking about more than 1 billion people who are in need, and also the private sector can help. So at least we need $330 billion across the world. This is the amount we need, and also 10% of this figure is only provided to the world. So I think there are many things that we need to fulfill so we can reach out those beneficiaries. I wish one day we can, there will be no need to have the Higher Commission for Refugees, and we don't need those organizations. Maybe one day, and everyone will be having his needs. I have one comment here. I think the question is extremely important. The role of private sector is very sensitive and impactful. I think the development of mechanism of donation has a role to raise up the funds from the private sector, especially that about 80% of the funds are coming from the MENA region. I think that the companies are making huge profits, and I think they have the culture of giving, but it's about initiatives, mechanisms, programs. That's what we need to do. In our league, we are so proud to cooperate with the UNHCR.
يعطيكم العافية. السلام عليكم أول شيء.
I would like to thank you and thank Muslim World League, especially Sheikh Mohammed El Isa. I have a question. My first question, I can contribute and I can donate in this program, and I can convince my colleagues to donate. The second question, I saw in your presentation you have a very ambitious goal, is to eradicate poverty. So how long does it take, or how long does it take? How many years, or is it going to be forever? I think that to achieve your goal, we have two important steps. Is to have a fatwa. This is an important to have fatwa from Islamic centers, and also that you need to know that you give zakat in a very Sharia and Sharia compliant way. And also the second thing is to have cooperation with United Nations organization. These are the most important steps to provide such donations. I would like to add here, there are many ways to donate. You have direct donations, the website or the application. This is one thing. Is this for an individual who would like to donate? And in addition to this is to promote the culture of giving. For example, if you have an influential people on the social media sites, or he can have a post on Facebook or social media, he can influence other people to donate. Talking about this concept and this culture would help the people to contribute and also to eradicate poverty. It's important. It's a very ambitious goal, and we cannot achieve it fully, but we can work on this. Maybe you have a poor man, but he has a dignity. He is not asking for money. Many people who are dying starving because in the current time the prophet, our prophet, was just seeking advice and ask Allah to protect him from the poverty. So we need to have a balance between human rights, and this is what we are looking for, to have people and individuals that are dying because of starvation and hunger, but to eradicate poverty completely, I think this wouldn't happen. Muhammad Wardani from Al-Azhar, from Egypt. I would like to appreciate your effort regarding the UNHCR and the Muslim World League as well. Actually, I know the challenges that you are facing to reach out as much as you can from those beneficiaries and those in need. But regarding the challenges of the crisis across the world, and now we have COVID-19, and this is very negative, and this would put more pressure on you because you will have more refugees and more people in need. But this may have a positive side because this is kind to bring cultures close to each other and also cooperation to face one crisis. My question to you, I have two questions. First one, what are the most important challenges that are hindering your effort? And even if you overcome such challenges or not, and what are the challenges that you haven't overcome yet, and what you need to overcome such challenges? The second question regarding the trust. Before we are talking about differences between the people and disagreements among people regarding the donations. Some people are affected by religion and the feelings of religion. So do you focus on religion and the rules of religion, and what is your strategy to build trust on the part of the donor? Because you are going to take money from this donor and you are going to convince him to donate. Thank you for your question. As I said, that the pandemic and the COVID-19 proved that regardless of the race or religion, that all humans are one family. All the people are one family, and we need to have solidarity. For the Muslim World League during the pandemic, the league was so quick to provide support to more than 33 countries across the world to face the implications of Corona. If you talk about challenges, the first challenge is to promote the culture of zakat and the sadaqat, and to promote such idea and the culture is important. The second challenge is lack of coordination between organizations, even among the organizations of private sector. I think this is extremely important. Dr. Muhammad Al-Wardani, thanks for being here. It means a lot to us to have you here and to have representative from the research center in Al-Azhar. I would like to say it may be good to have COVID. Sometimes we have some crisis which would change the path of our situation. For example, in tsunami in 2004, tsunami was the reason why the peace agreement was made in Sumatra. And the COVID proved that we are in one ship. All the world is in one ship. And I think this is one of the positive sides of COVID-19, that we came together. Regarding the challenges, we have many challenges, but I would like to talk about two important key challenges. The first challenge is to find a legal environment which allow the increasing of donations. And this legal environment, we don't have it. We need a legitimate environment, ecosystem, so it can help to have individual donations. The second challenge, which is more important, which is the dilemma to have a balance between the current needs and sustainability. For example, in our commission, I receive more than $5 billion, but we need $9 billion. So people ask us why you do not invest in the project so we can have sustainable support. Yes, but if I have one who's going to die and I'm not going to help him, can I invest the money I have to make a profit after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years? And the donor accept that I invest the money he has given, and to have investment in such money and to have a profit after 1 year or 2 years, there is a strong belief that we need to invest in the funds and the money we receive. But we cannot do this. Sorry, I cannot hear the speaker. Do you have standards or criteria for the distribution of the support? Are you going to update such criteria and standards for the distribution among countries and individuals? Because the donors need to know what are the principles or the standards that you are using. You give this one and you did not give money to this one. What are the criteria? Yes, the criteria and the standards are updated on consistent matter. But after we identify the needs and we dedicate and allocate the money during the year, we can have a new crisis. For example, what happened in Afghanistan, it wasn't expected, and we have increasing needs. And then we have money that was allocated to some areas, and we change it and we reallocate it to the new crisis. In Istanbul, we have an initiative, Rand Barking. It was called the Grand Deal, and the aim is to who's going to donate and who's going to distribute the humanitarian aid. And this is important to respond to such a challenge, to have ongoing dialogue between the one who is doing the distribution and the donor. And also sometimes we do reallocation, and we try to redistribute such donations. So, short answer to your question, yes, we update the priorities and the standards according to the new developments in the world. Nuruddin Al-Harisi from Abu Dhabi. As we know that zakah is a duty that Muslims need to pay. So a Muslim who is eligible to pay, he has to pay such zakat, and this Muslim is looking for a partner so he can pay zakat, such as zakat fund and other beneficiaries. The most important thing between those two partners is trust. What are the most important initiatives that were launched by the Commission to gain the trust of the donor or the one who is giving zakat, so he can feel assured that this zakat will be going to the right people? The Commission, as you have said, the Commission has made unprecedented steps in United Nations. And I think the bright side of this topic, that the confidence is increasing on the part of the donors. For example, 10 years ago, it was very difficult to sit and to talk about Islamic finance and Islamic philanthropy. And this is an achievement. This would show the trust and the confidence that we have reached between United Nations, the Higher Commission for Refugees, and the donors. So in the Commission, we have obtained 10 fatwa, or 10 fatwa, and this was not in the past. And we were looking for enhancing the confidence, because the donor wouldn't trust those organizations unless such organizations are licensed by the concerned authority. In our Islamic world, regretfully, we don't have agreement between individuals, but maybe we have agreement between organizations. That's why we were very keen to have such fatwa from Al-Azhar, from Muslim World League, from Islamic Cooperation Organization. So we can have such a number of fatwa, and we can have more fatwa. And also to waive the administration fees. This is a very significant step, and this is a great sacrifice from the Commission to build the trust, because nothing for free, nothing for free. So in some cases, the implementation cost may reach 15%. So how can we get such fees and charges? So I think that the Commission has made initial steps to build such trust, and also will be having steps coming soon, and wish that this will be continuing, and wish that other organizations will follow the same path. I would like to ask a question to Mr. Mash'al, and I would like to thank Mr. Noureddin and the role of Taba establishment, and we are so honored to have you here. Mr. Mash'al, you talked about moderate Islam. Do you think that this partnership, such as Refugee Zakat Fund, how can this help, whether directly or indirectly, to help the direction of the Islamic world regarding the promotion of the culture of moderate Islam? Refugees are the victims of conflicts, whether they are disasters or crises. So to have moderate thought is leading to reducing the hate and the hatred. So to promote tolerance, this would affect the number of refugees, and also to build partnership with the Commission or as an international organization. This would have a great impact to build trust between Muslims and other international organizations. Good morning, and thanks for such information. Islam Najjar from Ministry of Culture and Youth. Actually, in our Arab Youth Center, we are working on the engagement of the youth in the philanthropy, the youth empowerment, and to have youth job opportunities. And also we have projects related to SDG. In our research, we have seen that we have a lot and many youth who are ready to participate. So the Muslim World League, how is it prepared to engage the youth and the young generation? And this we are going to change. We have human stories, human issues. So how can the Muslim World League and the Commission are able to engage the youth? I can say that the youth can be engaged and involved in your work. Are you ready to engage the youth in the Arab world and also the youth across the world in your programs? Thanks for your question. The Secretary General, Dr. Mohammed El-Isa, is very keen to give support to the youth, especially the Muslim youth across the world. And also one of the most important programs for the United Nations Commission Refugees is the coexistence in Sudan and Ethiopia. It's mainly for the children and the youth. And also the relation is still in its initial steps, and also the great interest in youth. Yes, in the future, for sure, we're going to work on the development of the relations with the youth and to get benefit for those youth. Mr. Osama, we cannot implement our projects without the youth and without the engagement of the youth and without targeting the youth. So the Arab world in particular, I think it has one of the youngest population across the world. In Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, 2/3 of the people are under 35 years. And we cannot have such programs without taking into consideration the engagement of young generation and youth. Whether in our commission we are targeting the youth, because the youth are affected in a different way. So we need programs regarding education and to open the way to the youth in the future. And this was one of our goals. We are not doing enough, but I assure that this is one of the main programs in our commission. I think we have some other question. Thank you, Mr. Mash and Mr. Khalifa. Ahmed Mohsen from the Commission Refugees in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. My question to Mr. Khalid, what is your vision in the future regarding partnership for philanthropy, Islamic philanthropy, and governments in the upcoming years? There will be other organizations that will be participating in humanitarian aid and development goals. So how can the Commission develop itself, especially with the lack of resources? And also some organizations are not paying their share. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. The first question. We cannot achieve our target regarding the Islamic philanthropy without cooperation with the government, because at least in the targeting regions, because the donors wouldn't donate unless it is approved by the government. So we'd like to widen our cooperation. So now we are having donations, especially from Middle East and especially from GCC region. But the Islamic world is very wide. And also we have Southern East Asia, and also we have other regions. So we need to have cooperation with the government. The second point is important. Regretfully, there is a competition between the organizations working on humanitarian aid. It may be a positive side. Why you say regretfully? Yes, it's a positive side that we have a competition among humanitarian organizations, which this would increase the benefits. But the most important thing is to stick to the standards and the criteria. The Islamic philanthropy wouldn't change to be in line with the United Nations, but the United Nations is the one who should change its standards so it can be in line with the work of Islamic philanthropy. Because in Islamic philanthropy, for about 14 centuries, we have been doing this. So our standards and the criteria should be observed. And for this reason, the Commission, our Commission will be a pioneer in this area. Thank you, Mr. Khalid and Mr. Khalifa. I think we have a question here on the internet. We have a question on YouTube. This is a question for Mr. Khalid, and Mr. Mishar can answer as well. In addition to the impact of zakat and the sadaqat, how this can enhance transparency? How can such reports play a role in transparency? transparency is extremely important. No organization can do its work without being transparent. We should have our execution reports, and we are looking for facilitating having access to the report, and also to have digital reports in a digital form, so everyone across the world can have access to such reports. Before, we used to have printed documents and reports, and now we have digital reports, and this would enhance transparency. And everyone who's following us can give us new ideas so we can improve our transparency. Thank you, sir. In conclusion, we'd like to thank you all, panelists and audience and everyone who's watching us now. Thank you so much.